he was like, oh my gosh, me too. And then it was like a sigh of relief. Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Faiven.
And welcome to Let's Talk About It.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. Also, we want to hear from you, so comment below during the video.
Today we are talking about how to talk in a new relationship.
I know I talk to you crazy, but we're not in a new relationship. This friendship go back a few years.
It's established,
Indeed.
yeah. So the disrespect just comes over time.
Correct. Let's talk about it. But first, rapid fire.
If you are interested in someone, how do you let them know?
I try to do prolonged eye contact. Are you a paragraph texter or are you a phone call person?
I don't think I like talking on the phone. Paragraph texter. If you had to use a pickup line on someone, what would it be?
I go for like a compliment, because you know how men don't get compliments? Like, I'm just like, wow, that sweater looks really nice on you.
Brings out your eyes.
How do the majority of your fights start? AKA, why you be yelling at my friend Joe?
I mean, they usually start with silent treatment, probably. And then that's how he even knows that there's an issue, because he's like, hold on, the energy in the house is off. But I'm working on it.
Every episode she says she's working on it. Just toxic as all get up.
Progress, not perfection. Which friend would you trust to set you up on a blind date?
I suppose, because you know me well, I would trust you, Alex, to set me up on a blind date. How much online investigation is appropriate in early dating?
As much as necessary. People are crazy out here. If you were in the pods on Love is Blind and you could only ask 3 questions to the person on the other side, what would they be?
What are your values?
Okay, I stumped you with this one.
Yeah, but that's why the values is, there's a lot, you can say a lot.
Right,
so I can get a lot of information out of that. What is your ideal home life?
Okay.
Like, what does your day-to-day look like?
Yeah.
What is your preferred conflict resolution style?
Ah, good.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rank your communication skills?
10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, when you're not lying to yourself or to me, how do you rank your communication skills?
7. I can live with that.
On a scale of 1 to 10, when the delusion has dissipated, how do you rank your communication skills?
I'm not going lower than 6.5. Would you consider moving to find a partner or only move after you've already found one?
I would move after a relationship is established. I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna uproot in search of a partner.
Got it.
Are you someone's one who got away?
I think so.
Did you get like a lengthy email or a cryptic text like, they've been thinking about you?
I've got texts, I've got DMs, I've got calls.
Wow.
Yeah. And I knew it at the time, and I was like, this gonna come back to bite you.
She be cooking, she be cleaning, she be fixing everybody's plates 3 times a day, child rearing, stand by her man. Dang.
Could have been you.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about how to talk in relationships. You know how everybody starts off very like nervous to text certain things and you don't wanna like double text, and then after a while your whole demeanor just changes and then you just do whatever you wanna do. You're pretty deep into a marriage now, so like your texts, I'm sure, are just like haphazard and just like, hey, get this from the grocery store and like, what's going on?
Yeah. And we actually enjoy our moments of silence now because we don't feel so much pressure to talk. We know all the things about each other now. But in the beginning, and me and my husband actually kind of revisited this memory not too long ago. Like, the nice thing about when we started talking was that there was no pressure for it to become a relationship. Like, we met so organically. I was helping him with his girlfriend at the time. So there just was no pressure. And we got along in the brief communication that we had. And then as it picked up, of course, him and his girlfriend broke up. I wasn't like wrecking homes. Just
about to say, oh, we about to start a home wrecking rumor?
No, let me add that disclaimer. No homes were wrecked. They had like a natural fizzle, and our stuff, you know, ended up picking up. And I feel like I'm going to have to go back and share more details, because even as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like,
don't sound
I'm
right.
not buying that.
I remember the story though. But yeah, you met under wholesome, regular work circumstances.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you were single, then he was organically single, and he remembered who you were.
Yeah.
And then he hit you up.
And he was just doing really cool stuff that I supported. Like he was hosting a short film or a visual essay about like catcalling and harassment. And I just was so taken aback that, wow, yes, a straight man is having this conversation with other straight men, because men don't listen to us. Like we can tell you all day, like, stop doing that. That's not how we want to be talked to. But men will more likely listen to other men. And I, at the time, was also writing a paper just about like toxic masculinity. And he was one of the men that I interviewed, and he just like kind of really opened up and shared his story. And I was like, wow, you know, he is emotionally intelligent. He can like communicate how he feels. And we were just like helping each other out still, though. Like there was nothing about it that was romantic, but I was, I guess, still kind of getting to know more about him in that process. So by the time that we established, like, hey, listen, we're going to meet up again, it won't be under work terms. And just to make it clear, this is absolutely a date. I'm not driving 2 hours to see you under any kind of false pretenses.
Yeah, that is the organic way that I feel like everybody wishes to meet somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Just passing through, just doing your regular day to day. You meet somebody, you vibe. And yeah, not having the romance in the back of your mind is so helpful. I'm kind of in that vibe now because I'm doing so many things now outside, performance wise and whatever. And I am meeting like lots of people. So there's no nerves. There's no like, oh my gosh, what should I say to him or whatever? It's like, no, see you at the theater because we're both working on this thing. And then you're just getting to know people like between
Do
work.
you? Because I've been privy to a lot of your just like dating history. You don't seem like you ever get nervous. Was there a point when you got nervous going on a first date, or have you gone on so many first dates now that it's almost more like a business transaction, kind of?
I mean, it's more the latter. Yeah, I must say.
It seems that way.
Do
like
I
no
get
shade.
Nervous? No, it's not nervous. It's I get excited because every new person is a new opportunity.
That's good that you're still getting excited. You're not so, you know?
I mean, I'm taking a break now. Like 2025, I'm not planning on dating.
The whole year?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I wouldn't say wasted time. I learned a lot about myself in the last several years, but there is a mental drain that comes along with sitting across from a stranger every couple of weeks. Just having the same, where are you from? How many siblings do you have? Do you play pickleball? Like the same conversation over and over again just becomes so blah, so trite. And I'm just like, I can do so much more with this time and work on myself, become more of an asset anyway. Like I am still on my food prep game. I'm lifting every other day. I'm getting 10K steps a day. I'm in my routine. Like I'm making sure like everything is pristine. It helps my mental health for things to like just be like neat and fluff pillows and everything. And to be honest, if someone out the blue is like, let's get dinner, I'm like, I just food prepped this Greek chicken. I'm excited for a sprinkle of feta later. Like, and I've actually said that to someone once. I met someone organically on the street a couple months ago.
He just stopped you while you were walking, or?
Yes.
Because
he was with his friend, and it was a neighborhood Brooklyn vibe, and we were all happy people. You could, sometimes you feel energies and like you lock eyes and you're just like, hey, you do the black people head nod. And then it was just like a regular day, and we were walking slowly. You could tell no one really had much to do. So we just started talking like, hey, I like your hair. Hey, I like your hair. We all had natural hair and all like, and we started talking, and then it was like, oh, I'm your neighbor. Let's hang out. And it was very vibey and very platonic. And I went to go read at a hotel lobby, I think the Ace lobby downtown Brooklyn. So nice, and you can co-work and stuff there. So I invited him, and I invited my other friend, this girl, and we were all kikiing together. And then I did get vibes that I'm like, ugh, is he flirting with me? Because
but why the ugh? I thought you were happy for the organic connection.
Yes, but this is after I already decided I'm focusing on myself. So I'm like, of course.
So is that a hard line that you're drawing? Or if somebody just falls in your lap, are you open to that?
I am open to it. I'm not closed off. I'm not jaded, but I like to make plans and follow through on them. So for me to a month into me saying, I'm not going to date. I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to get really fit. I'm going to do well with these new agents that I just signed on with. I have a money goal, like all these things that I'm trying to do for myself. And then just any boy comes along, I'm just going to rearrange everything.
Well, no, don't. But I just want to say, remember that one man who we shall not name? You probably are his one that got away. You guys vibed, you hit it off, but in his mind, he was just like, oh, I thought I would be somewhere else with my job right now. This isn't the order in which things were supposed to happen. And then stuff just started to fizzle, remember?
Yeah.
So if he would have accepted that, hey, I met the right person right now, because you also were like, bro, I'm not putting any pressure on you. We're not about to just like move in and shack up. But if I feel like if he could have accepted that maybe he found the girl and the other stuff would happen later, who knows? You and him might still be frolicking off into the sunset. But he was so fixated on the order that you're probably his girl that got away right now.
And that's fine. But
I just want my friend to stay open-minded. If you meet somebody, if Idris Elba walks through the door right now, I need you to be like, okay, Idris, let's talk. Not, I need to go crumble some feta on my salad.
No, that's not what I was getting at. What I was getting at is, so I wasn't even that interested in this guy anyway.
Okay.
So like I was excited to have like a platonic Brooklyn local person to hang out with and not even make it one-on-one. Like I literally invited somebody else and we were all kicking together and I got food and he went up and paid for it. I was like, oh, here we go. So he's doing the gestures. I'm like, and I didn't want to set it up like that because I come from the school of thought that like men and women can't really be friends, especially when they're single and they are horny people. Like, I don't know, somebody gonna like somebody, to be honest, unless it's your cousin or a relative or a spouse or if somebody like when, you know, when they're safe. Because I like when people are safe. I'm like, that's my brother-in-law. That's my friend husband. That's my cousin. These men are all safe, you know, then you just act differently. There's no, I don't know what it is about it, but I kind of romanticize the idea of having men around, not friend-zoned men, but actual friends who are just around because I enjoy masculinity. And in the past, I only had that when I was dating the people. But maybe it was just too much of a stretch from reality to be like, oh, I can have men around that are friends and I can be single, the catch that I am. But no, because I was like, oh man, I tried to make a friend that's a guy. And then he's like, oh, you want to do dinner on Friday? And that was the guy where I'm like, I had my food prepped. And I literally sent him photos and videos of, you know how I post, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I post my food smash or passes all the time. I sent him those videos because we're not on Instagram. We don't follow each other. And he was like, oh, looks good. I was like, yeah, so I'm going to pass on dinner. I have food at home. And I genuinely meant that. And I also wasn't interested in him. If I was interested in him, I'm sure I'd be like, okay. But I'm not going to go outside of my routine unless I'm really into somebody. Because it's been a waste of time otherwise. And I know what it feels like now to go out with somebody since I've gone out with so many people and I'm not like gung-ho that I'm not even going to bother. Yeah.
So where me and you differ, like I like to talk to people a lot and kind of get that vibe check in the beginning, but you prefer not to really talk to them as much and save it for the first date.
Yes, that's if I'm online dating.
Okay.
Which I don't do anymore. It's been too many years and it doesn't work. And I feel more organically tied to people who I meet in the wild because that means...
Not the wild.
That means we have more in common and we're in the same circles and like it's just more overlap and it feels so much more natural. Even though there are success stories online, blah, 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 blah. But like, I noticed when I would go out with strangers from the internet, we would talk a lot, then we'd go out and then the rapport is completely different. So it's like you're bursting a bubble on the first date. So it's starting off kind of negative. That's why I'm like, you know what? I don't want to set up any expectations because your banter is so funny via text. And then you're just a different person. Or they might be a different person physically too. They might be catfishing you or have old photos or something. So yes, when it comes to communication with new dates, let's just vibe as much as we can in person. Even if we meet in real life, like if I'm at an event and we start chatting, you're like, oh, let's exchange information. I don't need to like fall asleep on the phone with you if we're not even physically seeing each other all the time.
Yeah. Joe and I did a lot of texting and stuff back and forth before we started dating. And a hard rule that I had, single me, was like, you don't just FaceTime me. I think that was for anybody, really, friends, whatever, unless you're like, maybe like top three. You don't just randomly FaceTime people because I could be looking crazy. I didn't pencil you in. We haven't scheduled an appointment. But Joe called me. He FaceTimed me and I picked up, but I think I definitely like covered the camera first, like to see if he would show his face first, like just stupid stuff. But I was like, why are you calling me? Like, this is very bold of you. You can't just be FaceTiming people out of the blue. But he was like, I'm not going to sit across from you and it's weird. So if we can't talk on the phone right now and it is like flowing and natural, then how do I know that we can do that across from each other? And I was like, touche. I also, the boldness was attractive, risky, but attractive. But something that he does really well is like, it was a calculated risk, I guess. Like he really like read the room. If you try that on somebody like way too soon, it could potentially be a turnoff. Like, why are you FaceTiming me? What signals have I put out there for you to think that I wanted to not only jump on a call, but like see each other right now? But in our case, it worked.
Yeah, and reading the room is something that
It's a lost art.
Yeah, a lot of people cannot do it, and you get these text messages, and it's like, are we in the same dynamic? Because some people attach quicker than others, especially if everyone's single. Even if dating is not even on the table and you just meet, like even platonic friends. Some people just be paragraph texting or trauma dumping and like just doing too much talking when it's not reciprocal and mutual. And I make sure I don't do that at all when it comes to relationships, because I'm like...
So, okay, question for you then. Somebody like you that, and maybe this is like online dating, let's say, because just so many people are meeting on the apps. You don't like a lot of communication. So I feel like there's a very short window for somebody to hook you. If somebody was interested in you, how would you want them to talk to you? Like, what are the, not key phrases, but like, what can somebody say in that short window to hook you, I guess?
What's always stood out to me was when someone actually thoroughly looked at my profile, not just, oh, pretty pictures, and just say, hey. So if they read my responses or actually say something insightful, like I'm always going to write something about escape rooms. So if they say something about escape rooms and we just start talking about escape rooms, or have you done this one? Like a regular conversation, that will hook me. And then I feel like it would just lead to, we need to do one day, but let's start with coffee. Are you free on Thursday? Just very normal. Like, don't jump the gun. Don't be too overly complimentary, because it's like, that's not doing anything. Like, would we actually vibe is all that matters. So straight to the point, a little bit of banter, a little bit of humor, and then actually plan a date. All within the same one concise conversation. If we meet online and I don't know who you are and you send like a good morning text the next day or something and we haven't even met, that's weird. Because then you're setting up this dynamic and this standard to have a good morning text every single day. And I don't like that either. So it's like, you need to learn how to talk and communicate depending on what stage you're in. If that's my man and you want to say something flowery to start my day every morning, more power to you. But if I don't know you at all, it's not how I vibe.
Yeah.
Even I hung out with somebody platonically and we went to a show and he was like, let me know when you get home. I was like, I won't be doing that. I'm sorry. Like,
he was just trying to be chivalrous.
But then I don't want to set a precedent like that. And I don't want to be texting you after 11 p.m. And I just don't want to be on your phone like that. Like, I just think certain things mean certain things. And I'm good because I was good for 30-some years before we saw this show. And I'll be good tonight. It's fine. It's totally fine. I promise. It's totally fine. So yeah, I'm just mindful of communication now.
Yeah. That reminds me, I feel like I've forgotten so much of this, just so much has happened, but I can't remember if we were still just talking or if it was official and we were dating, but I would text and Joe would text me back and then I would text, and next thing you know, it's like the whole day has gone by of us just going like back and forth. And even though we liked each other, like it was getting exhausting to have to stop whatever I was doing and like text him back. And I think finally I just kind of Like I was getting irritated and I'm like, why am I getting irritated? Like I do like this guy. I do enjoy talking to him, but it was just too much. And so I think I just had to put out the disclaimer that it's okay if we don't talk every second, every hour of the day. We have established that we like each other. I know that you have a life outside of me. I'm coming into this thing with a kid, so I definitely have a life outside of you. I'm not one of those girls that will get mad if 3 hours go by. Now, mind you, that's because like we already knew that we were interested. We weren't playing games. He wasn't like ghosting me and leaving me on red for like hours, but like in some way we both just kind of like felt like we had to text back right away, but deep down it was driving us both nuts. And so I finally just kind of blurted it out, probably not in the nicest way, because I just like let it bottle up inside of me when really if I just would have established that out of the gate, he was like, oh my gosh, me too. And then it was like a sigh of relief. Like it was just less pressure, you know?
Yeah. So maybe that does need to be discussed up front. What's your communication style? Because some people love the good morning text and the good night text and the fall asleep on the phone.
I know a lot of people, it's like, oh my gosh, don't you, like, why would you ever let 3 hours go without texting me? Like, have you seen me? And I'm just like, oh, please just don't text me every hour.
No, that's a nightmare. I actually like having things to talk about. So live your life.
Yeah, like I always say, like you need to save room to miss each other. Like especially now that I'm on the other side of it. Like we're married, we both have a lot of flexibility in our work, so sometimes our days consist of us being around each other. So in the evening when we're like unpacking, it's like, oh, I know what you was doing. Like I was right next to you the whole time. So if you're not married yet, like definitely save room to miss each other. Like find out how his day was, which means he has to experience something outside of you. And then you can also find other reasons to like fall in love with him because it's like, oh wow, you did that. That's really cool, you know? And
yeah. Or even if your inclination is to text a lot, be more playful with it or be more methodical. Like instead of sending the giant paragraph text, which a lot of men don't even read, not gonna lie. They first line, last line, and try to figure it out in the middle. But instead of sending the paragraph text, be like, oh my gosh, babe, work was insane today. Can't wait to tell you tonight over dinner. Winky face. You know, you're thinking about him. You want to tell him a story. You actively have a life outside of him. He's going to be excited to hear the story later. It's just a better flow. Yeah, and more is not always better when it comes to communication.
No, especially with those long text messages.
And it signals something else. To me, it signals desperation. It signals you have nothing else to do. It signals I'm the only person in your life that you have to talk to. Like you don't have any siblings, you don't have a cousin, you don't have a friend, you don't have someone from middle school who you're still cool with. Like it's just me. That's just too much pressure in communication. But like if it's bae, well, you gonna know everything about me anyway, because there's gonna be pillow talk. There's gonna be, you know, the code of secrecy when you're each other's like best friend, you know everything. But like everything comes in stages.
Oh, definitely. I'm getting so many flashbacks right now of just how toxic and petty my communication used to be in relationships. Like somebody would be, there's nothing worse than texting your argument out because I could not wait. Like I would see those 3 little dots and I know they were getting ready to make their comeback and I'd be like, block. And then on the other side, you know you got blocked because like the text color changes and they'd be like, ah! And I just couldn't wait to like shut them down, say my piece and then like block them. And then, you know, you unblock them because you're toxic and you're petty and the argument still has to ride out. Yeah. I don't do that anymore. I tried to rate my communication at what? You wouldn't even let me rate it a 7. I've made progress.
Yeah. Wow. I got, you know, like the dismissal text that I send a lot when I go on dates, like the Dear John.
Oh, when you release them?
You've been released.
Yes.
Very kind. Hey, it's great to get to know you. I don't think we're compatible enough, blah, 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 but I wish you the best. Take care. Something along those lines.
So professional.
Exactly. Which is why I was taken aback when I was released. Not even via text, in person, on the date.
Faiven, do I know this story?
It's the guy who was inappropriate anyway, who invited me to Paris after the second date.
He released you?
Yeah, because we were on a bad date. I did not go to Paris. We were on a bad date. We weren't connecting. He wasn't opening up. Mind you, this man is in his 40s.
I don't think I knew that y'all went on a date.
We hung out twice, hung out.
Okay.
I'm calling it a date just because he paid for the first one and whatever. We hung out twice, but the second time there was just no vibe whatsoever. It's as if I wasn't there. He just was like not in it, and I was not having a good time. And
like, you mean he was spaced out or something?
Yeah,
okay.
Spaced out. Like, instead of sharing what's on his mind, I feel like he just had a bunch of stuff going on, but just was like, and I'm like, huh. And so I felt no connection.
Mm-hmm.
He like didn't try to connect with me at all. Didn't really ask me any questions. We were supposed to do shuffleboard, and I was like, I don't feel like doing shuffleboard. Do you feel like doing shuffleboard? Like, I tried to be like, oh, what's the least I could do? Like, let's go to a bar. I wasn't even drinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, let's go to a bar. That's easy. Just you have a drink, and then we can call it quits after
Mm-hmm.
that. Because I was like, we're not connected enough to do a fun activity together.
Mm-hmm.
But we're already here. I'm like,
but the vibes were there before.
Yes, that's why I want to see him again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was just complete night and day. And I was like, oh, maybe that was just the excitement of like meeting someone organically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, like finally. And it was everything on paper was fine. So that second time when we actually hung out, I was like, oh no, maybe it was just my fantasy I built up, but we're not actually compatible. And then, so at the end of the night, he was like, yeah, Faiven, I don't think we should date.
Okay.
I was like, oh. And then he did this Jedi mind trick with his words. He said, you don't seem to be having fun, and I don't like how that makes me feel that you don't enjoy my company.
Okay.
I said, oh, okay, yeah, okay. And I just get my coat. He was like, oh, where are you going? I was like, I'm sorry, is that not a rejection? Yeah, but you don't have to go.
What are we going to talk about now?
I'm sorry, what? So, anyway.
I think he wanted you to be like, no, I'm having a great time.
My brain doesn't work that way.
Okay.
We're hanging out.
Yeah.
There was no vibe. You spoke on that versus me going home, saying goodnight, and sending the release text the next day. You did it in person, which took me aback because I'm not used to people being that bold. So I was like, oh, okay. And it was bizarre.
Were your feelings hurt, or it was just the surprise of the...
I felt relief.
Oh, good.
That I didn't have to release someone.
Okay.
But I also was like, let me find out.
This is what it feels like.
I was like, oh, I did not know we could do that. Maybe because I was so conditioned just as a woman for safety and stuff, that you don't reject people in person or on the spot. Yeah, so it has never happened to me before like that. I think most people just fade into the bushes. Like Homer.
It's crazy how many unspoken rules we live by. Like, if you already met somebody and then you see them again and you forgot their name, like, the rule is you can't tell the truth and say, I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. But why? I mean, you probably forgot my name too. Let's just be honest and say, listen, you got a lot going on. I got a lot going on. What's your name again? Unless your name is Joe, John, like something super easy. And even then, it's a risk. I'm not going to retain it. The face, I'll remember. But like names, I'm terrible with.
Yeah, that's why you got to do that thing where you use me. Like, oh, hello. This is my friend Faiven. Faiven. And then the other person says their name.
Yeah, so I try that with Joe because he knows a lot of people. It's his parents' church, and I don't know them. And then I'll feel bad that the second or third time around, I maybe still don't know them or forgot the name. So I'm like giving Joe the eye so that he can do the thing. But Joe also doesn't know their name. And I'm like, you were born in this church. So if you're not remembering their names, how the heck am I going to remember their names? And now we're both...
Communication in relationships, folks. Communication.
You ever see those movies where they're like, I don't know, it's like cops or military, and they're like doing the arm taps and the signals and me and Joe always laugh because we're like, do you know how much we would die if we had to like maneuver out of anything, or if there was like a burglar in the house and we're like trying to do signs like, I'll get the kids, you go. And Joe's like, oh, I thought you meant I go to the car and start it up. And I'm like, no, you essentially have left us in the house with the killer. We would
perish.
Yes, we can't read lips. We
just useless.
Useless.
Wow. To end my story of how I was compassionately released in person, I woke up the next day, I'm like, huh.
Still sitting on
Still sitting on it. And also like, now I'm like, oh, I don't need to send a release text. And I kind of did anyway, because I was like.
You sent him a follow-up release text?
Yes, only because it was just so weird the way it exited, like where he was like, you don't have to leave. I was like, but isn't this a reject? I was like, I'm just gonna go.
Okay.
So it was weird. And we know each other, like we were in the same industry and stuff. So I was like, I was like, hey, thanks for hanging out with me, doing the things, whatever we frolicked. And I appreciate you for
your honesty
about our incompatibility, because I would hate to waste my time or yours. So I just appreciate you being upfront or whatever. And even though it got a little weird last night, no hard feelings, and I wish you the best. Mm-hmm. And he hearted it and said, oh, that's kind of you. You didn't have to say that, but yes, same.
Girl, I broke up with you last night.
But we weren't even together. It was 2 hangouts, but like it just, so there was maturity on both ends. And like, he's like, I wish you the best too. And then I had closure. Only because if it was more normalized to release people in person, I don't think I would have been as shocked, and I would have processed it better, and I would have felt closure in the night, but I was too in shock.
I understand that.
And then the way he worded it was so weird. But yeah, so now it's complete closure, and I deleted the thread and moved on and haven't talked to him or ran into him or anything. But yeah.
I mean, I'm so non-confrontational that I don't know that I would ever be able to release somebody in person. I would also maybe be processing it like, is it me? Is it them? I would, my wheels would just be spinning on why we're not having enough of a time together. And I would probably send a text. So we want to hear from you guys. How do you talk in a new relationship?
Yeah. Are you fumbling? Are you releasing people in person?
Are you double texting?
Yeah. Are you sending paragraph texts? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. And we'll see you next time. Why did we have coffee mugs here?
Because we were like a TV show. We were like...
But I feel like we were cosplaying a TV show instead of just being a regular show.
Just 2 friends talking to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.